A gangster has been locked up after he shouted "I've got ammonia here" before spraying liquid on a motorcyclist in a street robbery. Horrifying footage shows the moment shotgun gangster Darren Appleby, who has been described by a judge as a thoroughly dangerous man, squirted the substance at the victim. The attack happened in May last year and 2 men have now been brought to justice, but a third assailant remains at large. Appleby, 23, had been part of a group of 6 locked up for their role in a gang war and had launched the brazen ambush in Newcastle along with associate Jordan Heron, 24. Court proceedings linked to the robbery needed to be put on hold, while a complex trial establishing Appleby's role in a gun conspiracy was allowed to play out. Appleby was locked up for 24 years for his part in the organized crime plot, and the Newcastle motorbike theft. Leeds Crown Court heard how 3 attackers used a silver Renault Megane to stop a man Appleby was in dispute with and began brawling with him in the middle of the road. Prosecutor Matthew Duncan said Appleby said he would get the tools and took out a bottle with warning labels on it and a man-made hole in the top to allow it to be squirted. He then said "I've got ammonia here" and repeatedly squirted it at the victim. On the 3rd attempt, he got it in the victim's right eye and down his neck and chest. The complainant said he could not see or breathe properly and could feel a burning sensation. Subsequent testing revealed the noxious substance was not ammonia and was more likely an accelerant of some description, possibly petrol or diesel. Members of the public rushed to the man's aid and he was taken to hospital. Appleby later phoned the victim and told him "You're FG dead now, you're of FG grasses." The motorbike was later found in a shed at Kenneth Moran's house, another of those imprisoned for their role in the gang feud. A statement was read in court from the victim who said he was convinced it was acid. "I was terrified I was going to be blinded." The court heard Appleby had few convictions with no history of violence. Sentencing him for a string of offenses, Judge Simon Battis described him as a thoroughly dangerous young man. He was also described as a prime mover in the gun conspiracy who was clearly involved in the shooting. Appleby was sentenced to 4 years and 8 months for the robbery, but will be behind bars for 24 years for other offenses, namely 2 counts of conspiracy to possess a firearm with intent to endanger life, possessing a firearm without a certificate, namely a pump-action rifle, and possessing ammunition without a certificate, namely 22 bullets. He was also found guilty of possession of an offensive weapon in relation to the modified bottle of noxious liquid used in the City Road robbery. Heron's part in the robbery was to prevent the victim picking up his bike using the car door and punching him in the head despite the fact he was wearing a helmet, the court heard. He was sentenced to 2 years in custody and a further 2 on license for robbery. After the case, a Northumbria police spokesperson said, "There has not been sufficient evidence to charge a third person and we have exhausted all possible lines of inquiry." If anyone knows who that person is and they have not yet spoken to police, then we would ask you to contact police on 101.